Evening all, welcome back to the channel. Just a very quick video, a bit of a chat about what we've been doing today, and a really important point. Why it is important that when you're buying a car from a dealer, you make sure you check out they're reliable and they are doing the right thing and looking after your car. You're going to be buying, prepping it, make sure it's done properly, whether it's a 20 grand car or even, in this case, an £1,850 cheapie. Make sure they are doing proper checks on it and making sure that it's fit for purpose. Let me just show you what I mean. This is where something can start off very small and turn into something rather large, and where you might not find you get the same service from one dealer to the other. So this is a little 2008 C-Max we've been working on today. We've seen this on the channel recently before. We've had it on sale. It's a little cheapie, under 2 grand, a little bit mileagey, but a very clean car underneath. It was 120,000 miles on it, 1.6 petrol. To be honest, these old Focuses are pretty reliable when it comes to engines and stuff, and it's got loads of life left in it, so we decided to go on with it. We had it all cleaned up, needed a clutch, decided to do the clutch in it because they're not particularly expensive to do, so whacked a clutch in it, put it on sale, also fixed a binnacle as well because they were playing up. The speedo binnacles go funny on Focuses of this sort of era. Had that repaired as well, put it on sale, and it sold. It actually sold just a few days ago. Customer's been on, bought the car for his partner, and hopefully we'll be taking delivery of it this week. Now that means we get it in the workshop, we're going to get it MOT'd, we're going to get it serviced, etc., and sort of go through it in a bit more detail. We do sort of pre-checks first, make sure they're test drivable, get them sort of semi-right, and then you do all the in-depth stuff later on, because it obviously helps with the workshop getting stuff in and out quickly and on sale. So as we're going through this and doing all the usual stuff, like I say, we're putting tyres on it, we're doing a bit of undersealing at the back. It's not rotten or anything, never been welded, but just nice to tidy them up a little bit. It costs nothing, but it can, tidy the car up, freshens it up, makes it look smart, and also can help with a bit of prevention going forward of cars of this age as well. We're doing all those bits, doing servicing, so like you're getting all your filters out. I mean, there's a state-of-the-air filter. This sort of car at this age, God knows how long that's been in there for, a long time. Spark plugs as well, they were all sort of manky, and one of them had a hairline fracture in, so again, you're checking all these bits over and changing them. This is the sort of stuff you should be expecting from a dealer, regardless of the price of the car. It doesn't matter if it's, £1,850 car like this, or 20 grand's worth. Job's got to be done right, or just don't bother selling the car. Now, as we're taking the spark plugs out, we're also noticing then that there's a little bit of oil in number 3 bore. So a little bit of oil's got past the rocker cover gasket and dropped in on the plug. So obviously then you've got to change the rocker cover gasket. Whilst you're there, you're checking the cam belt. An example, like here, this is the cam belt. I'm going to show you a picture of one actually, of the state of the cam belt. So I had loads of little cracks on it, all horrible. Literally fit to basically break at any moment. But then you look at it and you think, well, there's only a few cracks, surely it can't be that bad. Well, actually, when you start getting the belts off, I mean, here's one with the actual belt we took off the car. I'm not even sure you can quite focus on this, but you see these cracks here? Obviously, you can focus on the camera. They're really deep. I mean, literally, we are very, very close to that snapping in two. And like I said, once you get past that reinforcement there, the teeth, it's always just rip it apart. So again, and that is an original belt that's on the car, which is good news actually for Ford, because their belts of lately submerged in oil have not been lasting 100 and odd thousand miles. But there we go, good old dry cam belts, can't beat them. But on the plus point, that's been done. So this is an example of the stuff that we do here, even on cars of this age, of this price point. We just do it. End of the day, we're in a lucky position here where we can do quite a lot of work for effectively very little money because we're doing our own labour. That helps the job up immensely, and there's the reason why we're able to effectively carry out so much work on cars, even of this sort of age and value. We can buy a car that, yes, you might find one that's got slightly less miles on, you might find one that's a little bit cheaper privately, but has the cam belt been done? Has someone who knows what they're doing looked at it? Has it been serviced properly? Has it had tyres done? Has it had the brakes checked and inspected? Make sure they're all right. All these things is what you're paying for from a dealer. That's why you pay that little extra for a retail, and why you should always, I believe, go down that route rather than maybe going private. You might get a bargain, but if that goes bang on you, what's the £300 saved for peace of mind? But again, you've got to make sure your dealer that you're buying from does a proper job, because I know a lot of dealers who will just basically just get that car, they don't do the bare basics, they might change the oil if you're lucky, they'll do the MOT. At this price point, they won't be doing any advisories other than literally stuff that's just like a few pence to do or a few pounds to do. They won't be doing any big jobs. They want to get the margin out of it, they want to move it on quickly and spend as little as possible. I don't work in that way for all sorts of reasons. I just think it's morally wrong, and two, actually, if you think it from a commercial perspective, spending a little bit more on prep means that I don't have to spend much later on warranty. That's the way I work. For me, it works better. I might spend a couple £100 more on a car, but I don't spend that later on in warranties having to fix cars or refunding people. Doesn't mean it doesn't happen, but it's very rare it does, and that's the way I like to work. Works better for me. Gives you peace of mind as well, and that's what you want. Repeat business, stuff like that. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you because sometimes people ask about what we do and the sort of lengths of stuff we go to, and I just thought that was a good example. Even on an old car like that, with that work done, clutch, Cambelt servicing, all that, it's going to last a fair few years now, and someone's got peace of mind. Going to close up now, it's getting towards the end of the day. Going home today in also one of my new vehicles. Let me show you my new runabout. Look at this bad boy we bought. This is a little Toyota Aygo. Been at the auction, this house, laid up for ages. And the gate man was getting very cross with this one, so he told me to pick it up. We've had it all cleaned up, and it's now going to be our runaround. Now this isn't my main car, I actually have another car which I'll probably do a video on at some point in the future. It's a little bit bigger engine than this, should we just say to lease, although it is similar colour. But this is an Aygo. We love these. It's not good enough to retail this, unfortunately. This is why we've decided just to use it as a works car. We have got a little Fiesta diesel which is laid up at the auction, just sort of kicking around the yard, waiting to be picked up. But we don't really need a diesel, and we're doing a lot of town driving, and I think it's about time we got rid of the little Fiesta whilst we've still got a little bit of cash left in it before it dies, and we move it on, just trade it on, get rid of it, and run on a little Aygo, because we can get, this is done 120,000 miles, but it drives like brand new. Bit tatty, it's never going to be retailable, you know, it's not worth doing, it's just a little cheapie, and this is the sort of thing that's we can just sort of jump in, you don't have to worry about, you know, you don't have to abuse it, you can just do as you please, cheap to run, 20 quid tax, what's not to like, eh? What's not to like? A little bit of cheap motoring, as you can see. Oh, she's battered and bruised. I have got myself a little flip can aerosol I bought in matching paint colour to just sort of tidy it up, because we're doing some work to it. I'll get some trims and I'll have a go at just sort of flirting with the old flip can. I'm not a painter by any means, but I've done a few little bumper corners and sills in my time, so I'm willing to have a little go, just to smarten it up. End of the day, it's only just for me, just to run round in, or the lads at work. Occasionally, you know, I might have to put a customer in it, which is why I'm smarting it up a little bit. But there you go, little cheap run around. Just goes to show what that 400-500 quid car that was. You can still buy a cheap car like that you can probably run for years and years. Well, not years and years. Might get 3 or 4 years out of it with very little money spent on it. Cheap to run, and you can still enjoy it. You can still run around and save money and get from A to B, and actually drive something that, all right, it's not particularly the best thing in the world to drive, but they're not dull to drive either. Anyway, thanks for watching this one, guys. Very short video. I'll catch you all very soon in the next one.